Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is All Random Daily 007 speaking, your secret agent to loads of fun. I am playing Madden 22 as the San Francisco 49ers versus the Chicago Bears. Let's do this.
Today, from Soldier Field in Chicago, it's Week 8 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Chicago Bears taking on the San Francisco 49ers.
First opened way back in 1924, but renovated in 2002. There's a look inside Soldier Field in Chicago. This is the scene a moment ago as the Bears emerge from their time. Ready for as the Bears get set to match up with the San Francisco 49ers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Garden. And Charles, you look at this Bears team entering play. They come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row. Do you remember what it's like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either. And they did not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go to work here for the first time. The 11th overall pick of the 2021 draft, Justin Fields out of Ohio State.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions.
Now,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
And that is the kind of tackle they want to see all game. As they lose yardage to start things out. Colin officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. You know, they're a confident bunch. Some may say maybe too confident at times. How do you think that they approach a game like this when they're taking on a team that's lost 4 straight?
Well, if they're anything like their head coach, you know they're relying on that confidence.
And down he goes. The 49ers get there. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards. So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. The 49ers have Richie James back deep. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And it will skip out of bounds right at about the 18-yard line. So here's the first drive down for the 49ers. We get a glance here at the leader.
First half of the season, he's out leading the NFL passing yards to his back. It's been a tough man to slow down.
From inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. What do you think? He'll run to throw. to throw it. This will be caught at Samuel. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45.
And I think we can see early on they're making a concerted effort to get into the football. So to me, that means they like the matchup that they have. They feel like he's better than the guys that are covering him.
2 plays, 2 passes. We'll see if they go back to that one. Play action here on first down. Taking a shot for Samuel. And it's a leaping effort, but it's not to so after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw again. That's Samuel, caught left side. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first. They get only 4 that time as that gets us to the 4th down. So now they're going to send out the field goal here to Austin State. Fire away from long distance. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 50-yard and this will remain a scoreless game. Well, I was watching him in warm-ups, and he hit a 62-yarder that hit the crossbar and went over. This one a little bit inside of that, but not enough leg.
And the difference is what?
Well, your live conditions, right?
Live conditions, game conditions are a whole lot different than practice, where you just pop it up there, no rush, no pressure. I think maybe that takes a couple yards away from you when you have to do it when it's real.
To throw again on 2nd down. His throw incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. They're also about to bring a little pressure on this snap.
That's incomplete. Here's Chris Jones now. That's his ball away for the 2nd time. This away, it's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. That is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Deebo Samuel and the 49ers back in possession here. Sitting right around midpoint. He sees it on the pace for 1,000 yards. Good news so far. And just from starting to have a little bit more on the other side.
Because the pace that he's playing at the end of the 1,000-yard paces we're seeing him, that needs his attention. And right now, decision is going on. It's kind of that timepiece where we really see him crazy stuff. So we're at that time to change things up a little bit and make them go to other things and make them do those things better and try to make them better. Teams have been able to do that so far this year.
First down and block the throw. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And it's caught by tight end Kittle. Touchdown 49ers. George Kittle, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Niners have taken the lead. I'll let you do the analysis part of it. Every touchdown pass is your quarterback throws, and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
That's what we do the analysis. I mean, why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now. You can see the confidence in the team is growing. His confidence is growing. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen. And it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould.
Fuck the Bears.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Draw play. Cohen. He can't get him down. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd-and-1 situation. Out of the gun, Fields. Incomplete.
This offense has definitely been slow getting out of the gate. It's almost like they missed a wake-up call for this one.
No points after
possessions, and now it's looking like none on this one either.
The team on now as this one's sent away. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That is how you put field position. That's an absolute bomb of a ball. Down to inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it inside the 15, inside the 5. They'll get him down past the 15.
I guess it's good we can't really read the mind of the defensive coordinator.
First down and a little extra for Mostert. Says touchdown. Raheem Mostert, 84 yards. Strike quickly for 6. Defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was
Fuck the Bears.
Gold now out to kick it away.
Fuck the Bears.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. And his throw is incomplete. Well, Charles, you talk about this offense, this week 8 of the 2021 campaign. Now, normally this would be the halfway point of the season, but as we all know, it's now a 17-game regular season. And because of that, it seems like now maybe more than ever, getting your open week to occur later in the season, that could be a pretty big advantage.
Brandon, it's always been a big advantage, and now, as you pointed out, the possibility of it becoming huge, likely. Most teams want that later open date because of injuries, getting that rest before the playoff push, all of those things. Sometimes when you get an open date early in the season, it's not very much of an advantage. You might be playing well, that slows down your momentum. This is a big deal. The teams definitely like it.
James now return.
Oh, someone's
While the training
hurt.
staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. 101 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. High throw, but the catch is made. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you've got to give the receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time able to scan the field spot with the receiver moving left to right and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. So the costly penalty yardage-wise is out of the football game.
for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
When you're starting on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do in basketball teams that don't normally press. You go press on, bring people around, you can move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Off play action, Fields. Another catch. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. They had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. They'll get plenty to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, stopping, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, arguably, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a fifth, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Fields throwing again. That is his hands on it. Couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here's Chris Jones now. He's been on 3 strikes so far. He deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that one hits over 2 points to the ground. And he continues over the end zone for a touchdown. Come the 49ers. And let's look at their passing game, more specifically their receiving game. These guys have been great.
And actually marvel at it.
These guys are making everything possible.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Now he'll fire deep downfield from James. And nearly intercepted. And the free safety rolling into position almost had it, but it's 2nd down. A play action fake. They'll look to throw. He'll fire this deep for Ayuk. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. From the gun, a run with Mostert. And they will rally and stop him short of 1st down. Get him to the ground at the 26. Timeout called for by the defense. As he'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So on 4th down, here's the Australian native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. 19-10. It's a laser heading for the sidelines. Out of bounds, and how good was it? This is the 3-yard line. That's where they spot him.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a play. Down to the inside of the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're able to get down inside the 15, inside the 5. Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. They'll get this up to one. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Off target and incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. To throw is Fields. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by Emmanuel Mosley. And he will bring it back to about the 11-yard line. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage as a rookie QB. What lessons did he learn there?
Understand this. He saw zone in college. And the defensive backs reacted. That's what they do in this level.
That is caught. Touchdown. 49ers. George Kittle. His 10th touchdown of the season. 2nd And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I hear my old college coach right now.
Bears get there and bring him down. Javon Kinlaw in there again, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. I just gave up another one now. They seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Four guys might have to work, but they're good guys giving something. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Some hot water now after that sack. It's 7-21. Back to throw. Fields drops it incomplete. Struggles continue. These guys have run it 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. A give. This is Montgomery. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. Call it a gain of 4, but not enough. The punt team going to need to be summoned here on 4th down. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 4 minutes to go in this first half. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. On the return, it's James. And running with power here. 13 yards, the penalty on the return there. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. I'm sure he wanted to have a huge game, wants to have a huge game as the quarterback. Really on the ground. Maybe you just keep going to that level.
And so, isn't it funny how the definition of balance changes for us from game to game? Sometimes it's what, 50-50, run it, throw it. Sometimes it's just being a balanced running team in terms of who's carrying the football.
More than one guy.
Right, multiple guys out there, and now your guy back there has to throw it. Don't have to worry about it quite as much.
And they've got the lead here in the 2nd quarter. Lines up and lets it go for Samuel. Unable to connect, incomplete. Give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to be on 4th down.
And that is a 73-yard field goal.
So he missed his first attempt, remember, but this time he gets back on the bike and knocks it home.
Yeah, and sometimes that first one can really impact you moving forward. It can just stay with you too long and affect everything else you do during the game. In this case, though, able to shake it off. He's riding high again.
Here's Cohen now to return. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. No reason to do anything foolish as they snap it one more time on 1st down. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting 49ers on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. How you doing, everybody? Let's get you caught up.
Well, I know we hold off on the halftime update after all. Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. No return for Ayuk. That'll be a touchback. So here are the Niners to take over on offense. Their win streak at 6 coming in and counting as they've got the lead right now, beginning this drive 1st and 10. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. A fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. A big play there for the Niners.
I think it's about time I took my eyes off of the secondary or the guys with the football. How about the offensive line on that snap? They took care of business.
Absolutely, and when he can stay in the pocket like that, you're going to get big plays like we just saw. Now a throw here, hauled in. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense. It has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
114 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. He's hit. That is caught by the tight end, Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. A 5-yard touchdown catch. And the Niners take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
And remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
And 3 touchdown passes. You're right, he looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents. And also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good.
Gold able to tack on the extra point. And the lead will swell by 1 more. Touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to the locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, "Wake up! Let's get moving, guys." You think he might have turned it on us too?
But right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. First down, here's the run to Montgomery. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
What do you think, Brandon? I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
And they'll get him down at about the 37, well short of the first. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there. Here's Chris Jones now. He's been terrific so far. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the... And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Khalil Mack, credit him with the sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Final minute now of the third quarter. 2nd and long. He'll fire this deep for Ayuk. And that's caught inside the 35. And he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line. So a little extra on top of the big play there.
It's tough for guys rushing the passer, but you have to know when the ball is gone. And if you listen, officials will tell you ball's gone.
Touchdown. It's complete. George Kittle. A 15-yard touchdown grab. And the 49ers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Gold with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, Pater. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. Here's Cohen now to return. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Back to Montgomery on second down. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 3 quarters in the books.
On to the fourth.
After this is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Play action. It's Fields. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
They'll run on 2nd down with Cohen. Able to avoid him at the 40. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. From the gun, here's Fields. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by Kwan Williams. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. So this game, Charles, you know, we talk about potential unbeaten seasons a lot. It feels like every year at some point in the season we talk about that. But this is one of those games where if you're unbeaten, you got to be careful. You can't take this one too lightly.
You're exactly right about that. And by rights, this should be a cakewalk. Almost a week off. Let the starters run up the score in the first half. Backups get to play in the second. But you and I both know that funny things sometimes happen when you think this way. So it's incumbent upon the starters to really play well to make it work for this team.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points. But this widens it out, as you said. And now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Here's Cohen now to return. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. To throw on 2nd and 10, Fields. And he'll take this down inside the 15-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off. The Niners on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there. And now 4th down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
The kick by Gold is good. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Bears now ready to take over again. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder what plays out like in their own game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
So the Bears with a football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. On 1st and 10, here's Fields. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
2nd and 10. A shotgun snap, Fields. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
I think this one offensively, this is one where you just say, let's move on. Let's not even watch the game tapes from this one.
Yeah, you might just want to throw it in the trash, act like it was never there in the first place.
Yeah, just say we're good. I actually have heard of a coach in the past who took his team out to the practice field.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tart. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And this one has gone pretty well to form. They've come in, had little problem thus far, and now they'll try to polish things off in the 4th. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. 2nd down, here's Mostert again. Pretty nice, aggressive run there before being brought down just inside of the 30. They'll try and run here with Mostert. And he's going to get the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 22. 142 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on the offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more. Little insult to injury here late in the game. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then,
that is all she wrote.
So the victory here for San Francisco. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for San Francisco, their winning ways continue as they get it up to 7-0. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for Chicago, the struggles intensify as they drop to 2-6 now on the year. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Heinz Field to take on the Steelers. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
And that is it for this one. I will see you all at the next one. I love y'all. Peace.